Hey everyone, today we are back in the weekly pack. Man, this weekly pack is so much fun. Looks like I forgot to open up the pack at the beginning. Why can't I forget to open it up in the blind weekly packs? It seems like every blind weekly I do, I almost go and click the pack. It's pretty funny, but let's get right into it. This weekly pack, it is all about the hurt pets. I've had multiple videos on that, including my blind weekly run. I think was a big mix of hurt pet stuff. And then today we are focused on the toys, the other synergy that's prevalent in the pack. There's also a lot of buff pets, a lot of scaling pets. I thought it could be a buff and hurt weekly, but it looks like it's the toys. It starts with the tier 1 toy, but then quickly you can move to a Vervet. Typically I wasn't taking the Vervet because I was getting the Ferret, which is the tier 1 toy. That you can either get the tennis ball, like the mosquito snipe. Shout out the tennis ball. I love tennis. Grew up around tennis in a very popular tennis area. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Tennis and golf, but they are kind of tough sports to get into and sustain, especially financially. So, the toys. The Vervet, I was not taking too much this weekly. That's not the case in this video. You can see I already have a Vervet frozen, and I'm actually greeting to keep the Vervet. Very, very surprising. And if you run the Vervet in the beginning, if you notice I put the Flying Squirrel in the beginning. The popcorn on the Flying Squirrel or on higher tier seems to be a lot better. Sometimes that's not the case, but usually it's better to have it on higher tiers. So now we get 2 popcorns, level up into Chameleon and Rootling. Typically I would take Rootling at this point in my run. I would throw a couple broccolis on the Rootling and just let it scale whatever it wants to. Just kind of use as at an intermediate tempo. / hopefully you get a couple free stats on units you pivot in before they get to the equal or higher health than the Rootling. But I decided to take the Chameleon. And the main reason for that is because this is a toy run. At this point, when I'm doing a lot of these runs, I am avoiding the hurt pets purposefully, and I am trying to build a fun team with the toys. So I figured this is pretty fun. Look at that. We get 3 popcorns. We basically have a level 3 Vervet. The Chameleon's really cool because it acts essentially as a Puma for a lot of toys. Some toys does not activate at the start of battle. If it's a break toy, so like the flashlight or the TV that gives stats, or the toy from the Gharial that gives the melon, those toys that break, they trigger on faint on the Chameleon. So that will definitely come into play in this run as well. Or not necessarily this run, but this video, I should say. Between this and the bonus clips, we cover a lot of the toy stuff. And I was very proud to have a main run covering the toys here that, at least to this point, is not an aggressive scaling run. It's pretty nice. And yeah, you do need to get scaling to a certain point, so we figure out a way to get some scaling cooking, but hopefully not go overboard with it. So yeah, turn 7, pairs open up in the shop. The Penguin, no reason to really take, because the Flying Squirrel and the Chameleon, I guess, and the Vervet potentially, are the only things that are going to stay, but we have the Flying Squirrel, so we don't need to keep our toy pet. So whether we're keeping the popcorn for the long run or switching to something else, it would be nice to get a level 2 Flying Squirrel, but I don't know. We could get the Chameleon leveled up instead. It's not a big deal to keep your level 2 toy when you're running in-battle toys. And, yeah, the level 2 Flying Squirrel would be great for the scaling toys. And now we're running into the scary stuff. You got the big leech. Big leech with a penguin assisting it. Oh, that's terrifying. Yeah, turn 7 and 8. Just throw a bunch of pairs, basically. Throw a bunch of pairs. Look for a chameleon, a flying squirrel for the level ups. I have 2 tier 1s and a tier 2. I'm still holding them. It's really funny with these runs when you just hold. Usually if I still have a tier 1 on my team, it's because it's not leveled up yet, and I'm just looking for the level up, praying that I get it by turn 9. Finally, we get an experience from Chocolate. It's always nice when you get the level up that shows up in the shop right away. Decide to freeze the Winter Spirit. Pretty random. I guess that means we don't want to commit to a Highland Cow, which makes sense because we don't have any scaling on the team right now. So commit to a Winter Spirit. And from the looks of it, because we're giving the mana to the 2 pets that we're keeping, I'm guessing the Winter Spirit, the Winter Spirit, I was combining that. I'm guessing it's not here to stay as well. It's a good intermediate pet to bring in, give your pets a little bit of mana, and then just sell it off. So just like the Chameleon, we get the level 2 Flying Squirrel showing up out of nowhere. And check this out. I really wasn't sure where this run was going to go. I didn't know where my scaling was going to come from, but we've kept this microwave, this TV, or the popcorn toy, the whole run. And so I figure, what's the point of getting a toy that gives scaling when there's Axolotl in the pack? And typically you see Axolotl used with Radish. It's completely broken. You get your scaling every turn. You get a perk. It's completely broken. Check this out. Between the Chameleon, the Flying Squirrel, and the Puma. The Puma, not the Panther. I always get them confused. The Puma. We get all 5 perks. So the thing with the popcorn is if your pet has a perk already, it will not give it. So we actually got 4 popcorns, which makes sense. 1 from the toy itself, 2 from the Chameleon, 1 from the Puma. So if we level up the Puma, then we will get all 5 toys. But we need a toy that's going to give the Chameleon something if we want to get all 5. And there's an option. There's one other option in this pack. It's a tier 6, so that means it's the Mongoose. I guess it could be a questing beast. Nah, questing beast doesn't give any perks, does it? So it's the Mongoose. And yeah, as long as we find it, we should be fine. We're still scaling in the meantime, which is nice. And the popcorns are actually like pretty good in this pack because there's not a lot of good perks or equipment. I think there's Yggdrasil fruit, which is like the best. Otherwise, there's Brussels sprouts. And then honestly, radish is probably the best because you have a chance to get some of the better perks. But yeah, there's Brussels sprouts, I guess, is the only kind of protective perk. So when you consider stuff like the platypus in the shop, I was blanking on the name. Not the platypus, the blue-footed booby in the shop that gives the melon slice. If you level that up and get like a level 2 or 3 melon slice, that could be insane for this weekly. The only problem is if you're investing that much in the blue-footed booby, you're probably not investing in the scaling. So it's kind of a tough one. And yeah, at this point, I unfreeze the chocolate because I'm kind of sick of this toy. I want a different toy. We have 2 hearts left. We have 6 trophies. So I figured, you know what? I can use this 1 heart we have to roll down the turn. The Meta Brusk Death Roll. And there we go. We get the palm tree. I figure I could take a roll and then maybe buy another pet. And we get another Axolotl, which is just too perfect. So it's an Axolotl team. We are not using Radish, which feels great. At least at this point, we're not using Radish. And yeah, we get 5 coconuts. So I don't really care what you got on your team, what you got going. We get 5 coconuts and 3/3 in stats on each unit. That's gonna be GG for you, sir. So absolutely ridiculous. I hope I can close the loop on my coconut obsession soon. I mean, it's just so good. And I think with the current state of the game, how there's more heavily scaled teams than not, right? You get to turn 15 plus in standard custom packs. You're going to be running into the crazy scaled teams. Coconut's just a good way to like kind of combat that lack of scaling. You know, if you fall a little behind on the scaling, but you're planning on getting some coconuts cooking, or in this case 5 coconuts cooking, you don't need all the scaling in the world. I could have been searching for stingrays a lot earlier to take the scaling. I could have committed to that rootling early, given it all the broccoli. Could have thrown a lot more food instead of just rolling down my turns looking for my level ups and for my axos here at the end. But this team is now scaling very aggressively. 4/4 per turn. Put a radish on the back axo to kind of catch it up in stats. When my teams get to this point, I like everything getting scaled equally. I like symmetry. Everything's level 2. It just looks nice, and yeah, we run into a pretty good hurt meta team, even with the penguin scaling. So that's a solid team we ran into there. Still have both hearts. Feels good. Typically in a weekly pack where there's not waffle, it becomes a big panic to keep your toys going, right? Like you'll buy sell a stingray, and because there's no waffle, you usually just buy sell instead of like trying to level it up. But then every other turn you're like rolling 7 times trying to find another toy, so it's super frustrating. The flying squirrel, it just seems like anytime it's in these weekly packs and there's a couple toys available, it just seems so good. So good. We buy the mongoose once, get the palm tree, and then we know with our chameleon, puma, and flying squirrel, we have a permanent 5 coconuts for the rest of the game. Not permanent, but we have 5 coconuts for the rest of the game. And let's get on to the bonus. It's more palm tree action. It's more toys. I got a double badger. I thought it'd be hilarious. It's not every day you see a double front badger team. Usually you would see one in the front with melon, maybe one in the back with honeypot. So then you kind of get the best of both worlds with your badgers. No. Not in this case. We're going double front badger, double coconut. Can it get over the line? And oh my word, we start running into level 3 stinky sock. Wait, this is level 3 stinky sock with a level 2 puma, that was. So that's 5 health reductions they had. So they took our badgers from basically 50-50 down to 15 HP apiece. And look at this. Wait a minute. Are you saying... So you're saying there's a chance. We actually got the draw there. If both the goats were still alive, we would have gotten the win there. Double coconut. They don't have a lot of stats, but look at that mana. The level 3 winter spirit. Oh boy. Our badgers are so... Oh, they sniped our coconut with their mana. Later, second badger. And they got 4 goats. We only have 2. It's very, very scary when you get to this point. And we actually just lost our level 2 palm tree. Nope, all we need is the level 1 palm tree. We have a puma. I think I'm confused by that in the run here. As you see, I put the mongoose second. Should just be selling it off, but maybe I'm considering not selling a pet now, since it's turn 20. So trying to win with 3 pets on turn 20 is not the best idea. I gave it a couple tries. Typically I would fill the squad up back to 5 and see if I can keep winning. But it looks like in this case I'm going to be stubborn with it. I think no. 2 front badgers, 2 coconuts, 2 50-50 front level 2 badgers for that matter, should be able to get it done. And what do you know? Because the badger lives with 3 HP, it can trade with the first goat. The snipe gets the second goat. And we get it done. So the 3 Squad Marty is back. That was a turn 23 Squad Marty. Pretty exciting to me. Those ones definitely keep me at the edge of my seat. So what else do we have going? Now we're getting a little bit of scaling from the toys. It looks like we had a blue-footed booby in to get our Platybalodon, the melon slice. Really cool piece of equipment. Kind of a mix between a lemon and a melon. Between a lemon and a melon armor, you have a melon slice. Very common for me to put in a Mosasaurus before my toy is going to break. And then basically we can sell the Mosasaurus, buy another Stingray or Mongoose, and then sell the Mongoose or Stingray, buy another Mosasaurus. It's kind of just this level 1 pet, level 1 toy cycle I like to do. So turn 11, 6 trophies, 3 hearts. And the run's going very well. Very well, winning quick, team's very healthy. If we win this battle, then this one's on a very good pace. We don't win this battle, so okay. We're getting our scaling, right? Yeah, huge injection of stats. We actually have a level 2 Mosasaurus here now. I didn't notice that. So if you see what's going on, very similar to last run. We have 2 pets that we've invested in that we're scaling. We have a toy, and then we have toy support pets. Essentially the Puma and the Mosey. Mosey helps us with the stats, Puma does not. Decide to go for the Stinky Sock. And another Puma. So this is something that, based on one of those previous battles, right? We saw the level 3 Stinky Sock with a level 3 Puma. So I figure, okay, I want to do something like that. That was really cool. Let's see what it can turn out to be. Maybe the Fig. Yep, the Fig got a KO. And yeah, that was pretty easy cleanup there. Shout out the Parrot on that other team. Got a sneeze coming, so it's going to be some silence here. The Mongoose shows up. What would you do here? I mean, I think the Mongoose, I would get 3 coconuts. The Mongoose is probably the best thing to take. But I already had my coconut runs. I want the Stinky Sock. I want to see how effective the Stinky Sock is. Especially with the Platy getting the trumpets. We could probably mow through their team and have the trumpets get us the win. And yeah, this team wasn't very healthy to begin with. They have a level 2 Axo, but it does not look like they're really throwing perks on everything. It's turn 14. You gotta get cooking, bruh. What are we doing? Sell the Mosey and stack the Puma. Why are we doing this? Why didn't we put in the Puma separate? Doesn't really make sense. And look, now we don't find another Puma. But we find a chocolate, so we can sell down to the 3 squad. Now, we have a level 3 Puma, level 1 Stinky Sock. So we get 4 health reduction activations. How does it go? It's kind of they've got stats. And they've actually got Pangolin Gecko, so it's like a very health-heavy team. So good that we reduced health at the beginning. Smash through Brussels sprouts, no problem. 35 HP on that Gecko. I think the Stinky Sock allowed us to get that KO. And we had very good breakpoints at the end there. So that was a very fun run. Here's another we're getting into some of the random bonus clips at the end of the week here. This is one of those Rootling games. This Rootling, it is a 623 stat line on turn 9. A Rootling starts at a 1-5 stat line. So I threw probably 4 or 5 broccolis on this thing. Check that. That was only the second pair I've thrown. No, it might have only been the first pair I've thrown. No, it was probably the second or third. I forgot, 9 attacks now. So it's, yeah. It was, we've thrown 3 or 4 pairs on the Rootling at this point. Lots and lots of Broccoli's. It's almost level 3. I committed to the Badger early, so I kind of decided to stay with it. My hope, or what I was trying to do with a lot of these runs, was have a front Badger, second position, very healthy Rootling, and I wanted the Rootling to just absorb the Badger snipe, but I committed to a PDF and a Doorhead Ant as well. So in order to get my PDF synergy going, I just decided to run front Rootling, second PDF, and then the Doorhead Ant. And yeah, start getting the toy scaling going since the team's pretty much set here. And it's on 7 trophies, 4 hearts on turn 11. So this run was going very well, which typically happens if you take a PDF and you have a good synergy going. And I figure, alright, let's just throw Easter eggs on everything. Just start getting Monty's going crazy. Monty KOs the Rhino there. Very good trade. And we start running into the hurt teams, but when you have a level 3 incredibly healthy Rootling, it doesn't really matter that they have a crazy hurt team, or does it? What's going on here? Our PDF survives. No. Yeah, that's a loss. Okay. But we have the hearts to spare, so that's fine. And yeah, just TVs and Pumas. I think I'm selling the Puma, buying another toy, then selling the toy, buying another Puma. Just doing that toy cycle. Just hoping we get a good matchup here. Because we essentially have a Honey Badger in the end. Or I should say a Monty Badger. So that should give us the win as long as we stay in the fight here. We gotta stay in the fight. And check this out. Yeah, the toy broke perfectly. 9 trophies. Even though we have 3 hearts, I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about buying another toy. Let's see if we can get this done with what we got here. And I put in a base stat tier 2 Doorhead Ant, with the hopes that it would just give us one more PDF activation. Hey, a Cuckoo, thank you for your Cuckoo. You give me PDF activations, as long as you don't spawn more than 1. Oh my word, they spawn 3. Never mind, we still get our PDF. They have 24 trumpets. Our PDF gets through it. We get the job done. It feels good. So on that note with Rootling, I'm pretty obsessed with Rootling, and every now and then I will keep an eye out for Rootling 5 of a kind. It's something I really want to get done. I've gone for it a couple times. I am always keeping an eye for it. When Rootling is in the pack, it's very hard to pivot to with the base stat line. I think if a frog was in this pack, so I could do a frog swap, it would make it a lot easier. Usually you get stuck with a pet like the Badger here that's just such high stats that when you try to pivot away from it, it's just too devastating to your team. You see at this point, I go down to 1 heart. And I want to pivot to the 5 of kind. The good thing is I keep finding these chocolates so I can get multiple level 2 Rootlings. So the team is getting a lot of stats. The team's getting strong. The Mongoose is here. I'm like, yeah, I could buy a coconut or buy a peanut, and maybe that helps me pivot. But I figure, honestly, it's probably just best to keep this Badger and just hope that the Rootlings buff themselves more than the Badger. It looks like they are. And even though we're keeping the Badger, these dang hurt teams, you run into one of these big guinea fowls and there's just no chance you have. No chance at all. So that was a pretty big bummer, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So we're going to hop into the final bonus clips now. We're going to have this, and then we're going to hop into the final one, Riding into the Sunset. The final bonus clip with the music is one that utilizes 5 toy pets, ranging from all across the board, all different tiers, and it's just a really fun, effective toy run. I like putting those runs showing my full turns at the end of these videos in case anybody's interested. Maybe there's people trying to learn the game, trying to get some tips, or people that want to watch how I play and give me some comments and recommendations. I always love that. So with all that being said, we got an elephant guinea fowl here, very strong combo, and a front rhino. That's kind of crazy. I'm kind of surprised by that for my team, but yeah, with all that being said, we're gonna ride off into the sunset. So if you hung around this long, I really do appreciate it. We are slowly but surely climbing up to 1,500 subs. I know I don't talk about it too much, but we'll get something planned for that. And as always, have a fantastic day. We'll catch you in the next one.